I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
God, I miss PM Entertainment movies, man. I miss PM Entertainment movies. There might be a lot of people, well, a lot of people are not going to see this video, but for people who do, a lot of people won't know what PM Entertainment is. Because PM Entertainment, back in the 90s, started late 80s, but especially the early to mid 90s, they were a company, sometimes would release erotica and sci-fi, but it was mainly action movies. And I think the primary people were Joseph Murray and Richard Pepin. You know, the P for PM and the Pepin for P and Murray for M. And the thing about these guys who directed some of these, produced most of these, some of their films are not the greatest, but a lot of films like this are just jam-packed with very well done, ambitious action sequences that are just extremely cool to watch, because some of these action sequences are so well done, they belong in full-length, like, theatrical motion pictures. Some of the action scenes in these direct-to-video movies are more impressive than stuff I would see on the big screen. Even some of the past, like, Fast and Furious movies, among others, let alone the countless superhero movies. These, they're doing it for real cars, real explosions, real helicopters. If I did a top 10 favorite PM Entertainment films, if you're wondering, like, okay, PM Entertainment, and that's the thing, that I looked at direct-to-video action films today. There are some good ones. I reviewed a couple Scott Adkins movies I thought were really good. Avengement, Undisputed 4, Boyka, Undisputed 4. There's some good ones out there, but you look at these, like, this is what we had back in the day. Look what they were able to fucking do. Go watch Zero Tolerance with Robert Patrick. Go watch Land of the Free with Jeff Speakman. Last Man Standing with Jeff Wincott, Riot with Gary Daniels, T-Force, you can watch that one with I believe Jess Scalia, who's in this. But definitely Zero Tolerance, Land of the Free, Riot with Gary Daniels, Last Man Standing with Jeff Wincott. Definitely those four, I think, some of the best that PM Entertainment has to offer. And this one's pretty good too. It's light on plot, to be fair. It has the cliches of a buddy cop film, but it's mixed in with sci-fi. So if I'm going for buddy cop sci-fi film, I'm going to go to I Come in Peace with Dolph Lundgren any day before The Silencers. But with that said, if you're going to a film, what do you want in this type of movie? Likeable enough characters. I like Jess Scalia. I didn't follow his work tremendously, but for these type of roles, I thought he had the right attitude and the right delivery of his lines. And he was a pretty decent lead. I think he was also in another film called Dark Breed. So Jess Scalia was in a couple of these flicks. He worked well. Also, Dennis Christopher, who I remember from the film Fade to Black from 1980, which I reviewed on here. He was in the 1990 miniseries Stephen King's It. He's here as an alien, and that's where you get the buddy cop cliches. But sometimes, I'm a sucker for buddy cop cliches. What can I say? I grew up with those kind of movies. The story of the film, Jess Scalia works for his Secret Service. He's trying to protect the senator. Meanwhile, these aliens, one thing leads to another, and the bad guys want to get their people through this portal. And the aliens are kind of like the Men in Black. Funny enough, this came out in 1996, a year before the Will Smith Men in Black. But here the Men in Black are evil, and they're aliens. And which is interesting in retrospect. And I find it funny that the warp, like the bubble thing, looks like the effect in Time Cop. When Van Damme's going back in time, that same bubble ripple effect. But you just get these well done shootouts and sequences, like when Jess Scalia is trying to protect the senator, and people get shot, and the way it's handled, the way it's directed. I mean, the good guys with the senator gets on the subway. The bad guy literally crashes through the subway car's doors, and you get a fight on a subway train. And then they actually use model work because, the subway fucking crashes to a subway in front of them. And yeah, you call it not realistic. Okay. What do you fucking do? I don't care. It's still fun. Fun is fun. It's still pretty damn fun, and it's fairly fast-paced. Again, movies like this, Last Man Standing, Gary, I would put those other films above this because Jess Scalia does fine, but I think Robert Patrick, I would put as a better actor than Jess Scalia. Not to discount Jess Scalia, I fucking love Robert Patrick. He's great. Zero Tolerance, I think, is one of his most underrated films. And then Jess Speakman, Gary Daniels, Jeff Wincott, since they're martial artists, they're able to do more in the fight scenes because they're established martial artists. No one in here is. So you get some fight scenes, but it's more shootouts, which is perfectly fine. But you have the bad guys, the Men in Black, and some scientists that open up this portal for the other aliens to come in, but then Christopher comes in and fucks everything up. So he's the good alien and trying to destroy what's happening. One that leads to another, Dennis Christopher gets captured. Yeah, you go into these films, sometimes there's, even for this kind of film, is a bit stupid. I know, I just said it's fine with the subway scene, as ridiculous that is. But there's a bit where Dennis Christopher has like a shield around him. Okay? A shield around him. The bad guys can't hit him, but he can fire a gun and hit the bad guys. So the bullets can't go in, but his bullets can go out As he doesn't shut it off, because after the firefight, then he shuts it off. It's like, well, wait a minute. How the fuck did you have certain osmosis bullets? Maybe they're osmosis bullets. Maybe the good aliens have, I don't know. So maybe that's something they didn't think all the way through. But one thing leads to another. Scalia, the senator, gets killed, and he's wondering what the hell happened, what's going on. He's trying to look more into it. And one thing leads to another. He gets with this guy who I recognize the other guy as they're trying to look at this payload that's trying to go from point A to point B. The other guy, he was on the TV show The A-Team. He was one of the guys that was it Decker or was it the other guy? I forget the character's name, but he was one of the military folks that kept going after the A-Team. That's how I recognize that guy. And do I really want to give away like how these actresses are well done? Where a crazy highway sequence that will work well in a theatrical. Like the actual lead guy, Josh Scalia, is actually hanging off because part of the payload is this tanker-looking truck, like semi-truck, I should say, and Josh Scalia is hanging there above the real highway, and they're going fast as fuck. And then there's a point where he actually jumps onto the windshield of a vehicle behind him, like slams onto it. Or like he gets on the vehicle, he shoots the driver of the other vehicle, then he slams into the windshield, then takes the car, and his car drives through a fucking helicopter. They go all out with the action stunt set pieces, which is what you're really going into these films for. With a, although flawed, B-movie capable story. Josh Scalia, Dennis Christopher, I thought for the kind of roles they're playing, Dennis Christopher looks a bit weird with his haircut. Maybe because all the other films I've seen him in, he has a short haircut, so it's a bit weird seeing him with this long, almost Dot Brown haircut. And, Dennis Christopher saves him, a little bit of buddy cop, don't trust each other, then ultimately, of course, they do. Some of their banter I had fun with just because I thought the actors worked well, and I'm a sucker for that type of buddy cop banter. Again, based on the various films I grew up with, whether it be I Come in Peace, Showdown Little Tokyo, Split Second, Tango and Cash, and various others. I'll take this over Ride Along and Ride Along 2 with Kevin fucking Hart. But that's just me. Other good action set pieces is the point where Josh Scalia shoots a guy and then Dennis Christopher gets his chain to him and he gets up and Dennis Christopher pulls him up and the real guy going up as these cars fucking crash into each other. And Josh Scalia shoots at the guy. I would say the finale of the film is still well done action where all the characters are in this facility to try to stop the aliens from bringing the rest of their homies through the portal. It's still a well done sequence, but the ending set piece, it's not as crazy, over the top, insane as the other set pieces. So, I mean, usually you want to save the best for last. Of the action set pieces, that seemed the weakest. It's still fine, but just seemed compared to all the other stuff they had done. I also thought it was a bit weird. I mean, the portal with the bad aliens trying to go through the portal, those effects are pretty cheap looking, chintzy looking, I'll admit that. I mean, episodes of Stargate did better with that stuff. It's weird because Scalia, Dennis Christopher, there's also these other allies that are with him, this girl and these two guys. But the funny thing is I didn't even go into it. I was reminiscing on PM Entertainment. This is a Patreon request for Rich Pierce. So Rich Pierce, if you're watching, sorry about that, man. Rich Pierce is actually a guy that has written movies. So it's pretty damn humbling. Actual movies, which is pretty cool. And I apologize for that. He joined my Patreon. Very nice guy. Thank you so much for that. Sorry, I just was reminiscing on the days of PM Entertainment. I got lost. But yeah, if anyone ever wants to join my Patreon or send a request via PayPal, you can do so down below in the info box. Info down there. PayPal to be directly, or Patreon, there's certain tiers, depending on certain things, do certain stuff. But yeah, sorry about that. But I was getting, there's two guys and a girl that was with Dennis Christopher and Scalia. And spoiler alert, starting that, Dennis Christopher gets home. Scalia, the place is blowing up. Of course, you need the place to blow up at the end. The girl's with them, but where are the two other guys? I don't remember them dying. I don't remember them getting killed off. I don't remember her saying any dialogue of, oh, they didn't make it. They just disappeared. So I'm like, where did these other two guys go? I'm sincerely out. Maybe I fucked up. And I'll give the benefit of the doubt that I fucked up. I didn't pay attention well enough. Maybe I got up and got a drink and I missed that part. Maybe I misheard or I didn't hear well enough and I need to clean my earwax out of there. But if that's not the case, and these other two guys who's with the girl, who's the allies, they just disappeared, what the fuck? Maybe Rich, you could answer me that. Did I miss something? Or did those two, the other two guys just disappear? But yeah, I mean, this is the kind of movie that back in the day you would sit back on cable, I'm looking at the TVs, watch on TV, you rented the video store, it's a Friday, Saturday night, and you just want to sit back and watch some cliches, some buddy cop action, well done stunt work, action, set pieces, shootouts. Not so much fight scenes in this. Other films I mentioned were fight scenes. Goes by a pretty good pace. 80-90 minutes, you're done. Had a good time. That's the direct-to-video films I miss. When it's a direct-to-video film, I'm not expecting aliens. I'm not expecting Rambo First Blood Part 2. I'm not expecting Hard Target, which are some of my favorite films ever. But when these films just hit the bug of you want to watch shit blow up, shit get shot, pretty decent actors, having fun with their roles, certain sense of humor to it. Not parody, not tongue in cheek, not winking every 5 minutes, but you can tell Scalia and Dennis Christopher, they're having a bit of fun with their roles. They do a good job. This is the kind of stuff I miss. This is the kind of stuff that I wish they could do nowadays. But I don't know, maybe did PM Entertainment just somehow have the budget in the back pocket to do this stuff? Did they own a certain neighborhood that they could consistently blow up cars and all sorts of things? Like, that'd be a question for someone like Rich. How is it that a film like Land of the Free, this movie, Zero Tolerance, that these films, they didn't cost the world, but they did away with all this stuff, but films today can't? What is the explanation? Because I sincerely would like to know. But yeah, Silencers, it was for free on YouTube. I'm sure a lot of these films you can find for free on YouTube, because I don't think any of the PM Entertainment films are on Blu-ray. Sad to say. Like Land of Free, I don't think that's on Blu-ray. If it is on Blu-ray, I would love to get it. If I can find it. So, and yeah, I'm not going to... I have to check after to see if it's on Blu-ray. I don't think a lot of them are on Blu-ray. As far as I know, they're not. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. If they are, cool. But if not, that's too bad. But either way, a lot of them you find on YouTube for free. But just sadly, no one's going to talk about this film. Like, I guarantee you this video, it's not going to get many views. And that's fine, but it's not going to get many views because people don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Silencers? What the hell is the Silencers? Is it a Western? The Silencers? It's like, no, that's the Searchers. Well, okay. But I think a lot of direct-to-video folks should look at movies of the PM Entertainment era. I've already mentioned some of them. I'll repeat it. Zero Tolerance, Land of the Free, Last Man Standing, the one with Jeff Wincott. Even a film like this, or T-Force. Riot with Gary Daniels, great movie. Also Rage and Recoil, also with Gary Daniels. There's some damn good stuff out there, and again, if you love action films and you want to see this crazy stuff, and you're disappointed with the material that's being released today in the VOD market, I should say, go back in time and give these films a shot. I think you'll find some gems that you'll enjoy. And again, like the names, the titles I've listed multiple times. Feel free to write them down and give them a look. If it's not your cup of tea, it's not your cup of tea. But I think for some people it would be. They're certainly mine. But either way, thanks for watching. Take care, and we will see you guys in the next video. Later.